y'all. So let's chat, okay? Today gonna be a cute little quick chat because I've been giving y'all length all month long. So y'all know the month of February, I said that we were gonna be touching on love and all the gushies and the feels and all that good shit, right? That we like about love. But what I feel like is important to talk about the last day of the month is the not so pretty side of love. So in order to do this, I'm going to use the story of a friend of a friend. So a friend of a friend asked, could we sit down and chat? Of course, I'm like, oh, what's that? What's going on? So he starts telling me how pretty much he's been dealing with a situation with his girlfriend that has brought up a lot of negative feelings for him. To make a long story short, because he didn't give me all the details, but what he pretty much said was he's asked his girl to terminate what I believe is a platonic relationship, right? Because he feels like the other person does not respect the relationship. He says that he has asked her to do this more than once. So the final time in which he asked her to do it, he was at a place where, and he said, I can acknowledge that I'm the type of person, when I want something done, I want it done in a particular way. And people say that that can be controlling or, you know, it's narcissistic behavior. I said, well, I'm not going to give you those labels until I know a little bit more. So what I gathered from the situation was she ended it, or, you know, said, hey, we can't be friends like that no more, or whatever. This is me drawing conclusions. And he felt like she didn't handle it the way in which he wanted her to handle it. And later on in the conversation, he revealed that he wanted her to kind of have a nasty approach about it. Like, he wanted her to, this is what we not gonna do. He wanted her to really, like, send this negative message. But I had to ask him, like, is that her though? Because you can't expect somebody to deliver a message like you if they are not like you, or if their relationship with that person is not the same. They're going to still feel like they owe that person some tenderness, some compassion in how they deliver that message, if that's a relationship that they value. So that's another point, but that's besides what I'm trying to talk about. So I asked him, I said, okay, so, you know, he said he stepped in and put his foot down about what he felt like needed to end with the guy or whatever. And it caused some friction in their relationship. She's mad about how he handled it. He's mad that she didn't handle it the way that he wanted it to be handled. And so because of this, the way he described it to me, he said, you know, I've been trying to work past it, but I'm just feeling really emotionally distant and angry all the time. And I said, you know what that sounds like? He said, what? I said, that sounds like resentment. He said, I never thought of that word before. He said, I thought resentment meant hate. And I had to let him know, resentment, you can love somebody and resent them. Resentment has a lot more to do with you either feeling bitter or like something was done unfairly to you, or in his case, disrespect, and still having to navigate a relationship with somebody when you feel disrespected by them. And that breeds resentment, because he felt like, you know, I've asked you to do this multiple times and you haven't. And now I said, so you feel disrespected? He said, yeah, I feel disrespected. And it's hard to be with somebody when you feel disrespected. For him, that situation is what I like to call a deal breaker. When somebody disrespects you in the form of your deal breaker, it is very, very hard to come back from that. Because now you have this ingrained in their brain that you don't respect me, and you not only do you not respect me, for him as a man, you don't listen. I tried to tell you, you don't listen. You know how niggas be. So when you feel disrespected and you stay in a situation and you still try to be cordial or try to figure it out without dealing with the fact that you feel disrespected and you feel resentment towards that person, Yeah, you gonna feel angry. Yeah, you're not gonna want to emotionally connect with them because a part of you is still very closed off because you feel disrespected. You don't know how to get back to that sweet spot with this person. When you feel a certain type of way towards somebody and you're still kind of in a position where you have to have a relationship with them, or you want to have a relationship with them, but you haven't dealt with the issue, resentment is exactly what you're going to feel. So needless to say, he had his mind blown when I told him that that's what he was feeling. And so the next question he asked me was, can you move past resentment? Like, how do you get that feeling to go away? And what I had to tell him was, resentment is something you have to be committed to. You have to be committed to making an effort to get things back to where you would like for them to be. When you want to no longer feel that, you have to make a commitment to do everything possible to start with a fresh, clean slate. Like, you can't, a lot of it has to do with a sense of forgiveness, honestly. You can't be with somebody and actively resent them, because they're gonna feel that. Like, whether he knows it or not, that girl feels that tension. She feels that it's something off with him, and she don't know how to make him not feel that way. So I told him, I said, y'all have to have a conversation, and you have to commit to moving past the resentment, because if you want to still let it fester, it's just gonna be there. You have to decide that your relationship means more to you than your pride, because a lot of resentment is pride too, because you're stuck in feeling like somebody has violated you and how dare they, and you don't know how to emotionally connect after that. So what I told him, I said, y'all have to have a conversation. A. B, you have to tell her that you feel disrespected. There's no other way to put it. And something else that people have to realize is, when somebody does a deal breaker for you, you have to let them know that if that continues, you will no longer be able to be functional in this relationship to a point where you all are going to be happy. Period, point blank. Like, when people perform your deal breakers, it really is going to be like a shot to the chest, and you're going to feel like you can't come back from that. And you can, but again, you have to be committed to it. You can't just say, oh, I forgive you, and then every time something happens, you want to keep bringing up the shit. Oh, I want to move past it, but every time she do something you don't like, you pinpoint it and you nitpicking and you still bringing up the other shit. I said, when you decide to move past resentment, when you commit to moving past resentment, the slate is clean. It's clean. And that gives you the opportunity to move forward with an open heart. Because right now that heart is closed. It's sitting there and it doesn't know what to do, because you feel so disrespected. You feel so tense by the fact that this has occurred and you don't know how to get over it. So I say that to anybody. Like, you can't decide that you still want to be with a person and you want to make it work, but you're not committed to making it work. Because that piece is emotional. You can't, you have to start making strides to get back to that sweet spot of the relationship. And I also say that to say something I truly believe that I say all the time, which is, you got to be honest with yourself. You can try to play yourself like, oh, I can move past this because I really love that person. Sometimes love ain't enough, especially when it comes down to you feeling like they don't respect you nor the relationship. I tell women, when it comes to cheating, like, that is not something that you can get over as easily as a lot of women think. You have to be committed to forgiving that person and acting on that forgiveness. And that means not treating them like a prisoner because they've made a mistake. And that's what I told him. I said, you cannot keep punishing her for making a mistake if you want to continue to be with her. If you're going to feel like that, let her go. Let the pieces stay broke. You can't put together the pieces again with no glue. And the glue is the effort, okay? Because without that, everything is just going to remain broken. Like, you can't have the nice idea in your head like, oh, yes, I'm going to forgive her and we're going to move forward. you can say that, but your feelings not gonna reflect that if you don't do the necessary work. Okay? So I say this to say resentment can be moved past. You know, your partner does something fucked up, and yet you still see potential in them, you still see potential in the relationship, and it's something you still want to give an honest try. But the key word, an honest effort, an honest try. You have to, you got to do the work, because saying it sounds real good. Yeah, we got past that, but did you really? Because if every time that person do something you don't like, you quick to reprimand them for the shit that they did in the past, they're not going to stick around for that at all. And if they do, it's only out of guilt because they feel bad. And what type of relationship is a relationship built on guilt? Okay, so that's just a little piece for y'all, little smidge, about the ugly side of the relationships and how they can be saved, but it takes a lot of maturity and a lot of honesty and a lot of fucking effort. Okay? Everybody want love, but nobody want to do the hard work. And again, stop giving, and I have to tell him this, stop giving people multiple times to do your deal breakers. I told him the first time you told her you were uncomfortable with this and she didn't do anything about it, that should have been a red flag to you. Because now I told him, I said, it was building up. It's just building up. It's building up. It's building up. And that's why he reacted the way that he did when he felt like she didn't do what was necessary to end the situation. Because he'd been sitting on it. He'd been patient, trying to, give her an opportunity. But I said, you can't do that when it comes to your deal breakers. If that's something that you feel strongly about, you can't let people fuck it over multiple times, because you know what it tells them? That it's okay. It tells them that you're okay with it. Because you're still here and I'm still doing it. And then when you blow up, yeah, they're going to be confused. Because it's like, well, now, why this time? Why now? But I've been doing this. I've been not, ending this relationship. And if it was that worthy to her, you know what I mean? Then, okay, your friend is more important to you. The relationship, saving that relationship is more important to you. But that's why I'm telling y'all, you can't let people keep stepping over that line with you and then want to blow up after they've done it multiple times when it's always been a deal breaker for you. You got to stand strong on that. That's what we're going to talk about, boundaries, in another video, because black people struggle with those, people in general, but we talking about my black folk today. It's a boundary that you felt like needed respect. And when people don't respect your boundaries, you feel violated. You feel disrespected. Okay? So that's all I got. It's been a long one. I'm tired. But I hope y'all got something out of that. Okay? So y'all have a good one.